I didn't want to go live just yet. So, all right, welcome everybody. We are going to get started right now, and we'd like to welcome you to Say Boo to the Flu. This has been one of the most devastating flu seasons in recent history. We're going to talk a little bit about why. We're going to talk about the flu shot, whether or not you should get it, and why. Ways to strengthen your immune system, what works, what doesn't. And we're going to encourage you to participate with us. We thank you again for joining, and we want you to stay till the end of the webinar. We have a special announcement for you. My name is Karen Hurd, and I am a holistic living trainer and advocate, and I've been partnered with Shackley now for 21 years. I am a mom to 5, a grandmom to 2, and a lot of the things I'm going to be sharing with you are things that we have been doing in our family to keep us healthy through a number of health challenges. And I have my good friend with me, Carol Steele, and she's going to be helping monitor the chat and answer any questions in between time. So what we're going to do again is welcome. We're going to teach you how to say boo to the flu. I'm going to give you everything I can to show you how to build strong immunity and stay healthy during the flu season. And I wanted to find out, I think we have some guests where everybody is from. Just go ahead and put that in the chat box where you're from. I'm from Virginia. And where we got? Trying to read the chat. See if I can read the chat. Okay. Carol's from Lake Gaston. All right. So the other thing is, love to find out how you found out about the chat. I know that the folks that are here right now have found out about it through Facebook or through my email. And some of the, I know some of the Shackley distributors had invited people. Oh, Carol said to tell people what the chat box is. Oh, Kathy's from Wisconsin. Hi, Kathy. If you do not find the chat box, I don't know if you can see the bottom of my screen, but you should have a gray bar. If you're on a desktop, you'll have a gray bar. Might be on the top if you're on a phone or mobile platform. And you should see it at the bottom. And you actually have to click on the little circle that says chat. In this Zoom format, the chat box does not automatically pop up. You have to click on it. Thanks, Carol, for that tip. I appreciate it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you about the flu this year? What answers do we have? And move your mouse to the bottom of the screen. Kathy says 9. Yeah, I'm real concerned too. This webinar is for you if you tend to get colds or flu during the season, which tends to just seem to be the winter for some reason. If you desire to avoid the flu vaccine, maybe you've heard some of the controversy about it and you're still trying to decide even this far into the season. If you want to build a stronger immune system overall, if you seek a holistic approach to better health. You're going to get a lot of information out of this webinar, and we hope a lot of value. Stay to the end, and we will send you a link to our free ebook, What Your Doctor Wasn't Taught About Nutrition in Med School. It is amazing. A lot of times we think our doctors are experts in this field, and oftentimes they're not. That's changing in some medical universities, but this ebook will give you some really helpful information about what your doctor hasn't taught. And we may even do that as a webinar soon. So again, what are you going to learn in this webinar? The truth about the flu vaccine and why it's promoted. 9 things that weaken your immune system. 4 secrets to flu prevention. The nutrients you need to sustain health. Now, are your kids susceptible to frequent colds? Do they seem to get every virus they encountered? Do you feel like sometimes, especially if you have young children, you haven't left the house in the week and somehow they still manage to get sick? I know my kids used to get sick all the time. But if that's true for you, you should consider a shift in how your family's overall approach to wellness. You know, and one thing I do want to say, a lot of times we think that if we're doing something wellness oriented that we'll never get sick. That's not always true. right? We would love it if that were always the case. It's the case often. But approach to wellness is like wearing a seatbelt. If you get in a car accident, the seatbelt keeps you safer than if you hadn't had it on. And a wellness approach does the same thing. It makes your body stronger. And if you do end up encountering an illness, whether it's bacterial, viral, or some kind of chronic disease, you are still better off than if you had a neglected wellness at all. The lifestyle changes you're going to make over the years will lead to markedly improved health, to the point now where your kids can even go a whole year without getting sick. And what a huge difference that makes. Building better health has helped all of us, especially those of us in the Shaklee business, build a better life. And that's something that we can all benefit from. So what exactly is the flu? So we're going to also take a look at the flu vaccine used to prevent it. So what is the flu? I have something I want to show you. It's kind of a cheat sheet. Are you ready? A little tongue in cheek. This is a really good flu algorithm to know whether or not you have the flu. And if you feel like you've been hit by a train, no, you don't have the flu. Yes. Have you been hit by a train? No, you have the flu. Yes, you've been hit by a train. This is actually flying around Twitter. And I just saw it as I was doing just a little bit of research for this, and I thought it was funny, and I wanted to share it with you. So I hope you found that helpful. So the first indicator of the flu is you feel like you've been hit by the train. The flu is a contagious respiratory illness. It's caused specifically by influenza viruses. And there's A strains and B strains, and they have substrains in those. And they infect the nose, the throat, and the lungs predominantly. It can cause mild to severe illness, and at times can lead to death. This year alone, 53 children have been killed by the flu virus, and half of those children were not considered at risk. All right, the state of Pennsylvania expects to use, they said, I was reading as I was looking through for some statistics, the state of Pennsylvania said that they tend to lose 2,000 people every year to the flu. So according to the CDC, if you don't know what that means, that's the Center for Disease Control. The best way to prevent the flu is by getting a flu vaccine each year. But did I just roll my eyes? I know that it's really controversial. This year's flu virus, by the way, I looked it up, is a type A. It's called an H3N2, and interestingly, it's the same strain that was the 1968 Hong Kong virus. And the reason why some years seem more serious than others is this particular strain, the H3N2s, tend to be very hard. Some of the other flu strains, not so bad. And so I think in the general public, we just call the flu the flu. Public health officials see it differently. So this year is a hard flu. It's a difficult strain. And that's why we need to be a little bit more careful than usual. What are flu symptoms? Fever or feverish chills. Sometimes a cough. Sometimes a sore throat, not always. Sometimes a runny or stuffy nose, not always. Muscle or body aches, almost always. Headaches, frequently. Fatigue, part of that I got hit by a train feeling. Vomiting or diarrhea, especially in children. And I've got another little graphic for those of you that are note takers, I want you to see. And I got this from the CDC. And I think the key thing in whether you've got a flu or the cold, because some of the symptoms cross over, especially the sneezing, stuffy nose, sore throat, chest discomfort can kind of cross over depending on how it manifests in your body. But the flu, like a lot of it, is abrupt. You might have felt good that morning. And I remember one time when I got ill, I was perfectly fine. And 20 minutes later, I was down on the couch. So, and the cold tends to be gradual. And we even say it, right? We're coming down with the cold. You don't come down with the flu. It's abrupt. It can hit quite suddenly. Again, chills are common, not so much in a cold. Fevers almost all the time in the flu, very rare in a cold. So it's important to distinguish. Whether or not you go to a doctor when you have the flu, that's up to you. But I would advise, especially if you're vulnerable, or you have some chronic illness or complications, then you might absolutely want to go and get that confirmed. So flu season is most active December through March. Now, people can get the flu when they're exposed to someone who has coughed or sneezed and the droplets get in their mouth. And when you sneeze, by the way, it's like 3 to 4 foot out there. And when you touch a contaminated surface, right? Grocery shopping. The person before you had the flu, they were getting stuff to hunker down. On average, people come with the flu in about 2 days after exposure, and the flu is contagious 1 day before symptoms develop and 5 to 7 days after getting sick. Health officials do not want you to leave your home until it has been at least 24 hours after the fever has subsided. And that's part of not only taking care of yourself, but making sure that you're not, being a source of contagion for someone else. Most physicians recommend vaccination as the best prevention. So let's talk about the flu vaccine and why it's promoted. And how many of you here have gotten a flu shot? Put in the chat box if you have gotten a flu shot. Okay, we have one person. No, Amy says no. Kathy says yes. Kathy, you're a teacher. Is it because you're required to get a flu shot? I know in some professions, highly suggested. Right, highly suggested. Yeah, with a little bit of power behind that. And if you're a nurse or in the medical profession, oftentimes they will fire you if you don't get a flu shot. For so some people, if you have a minor child with a chronic illness, like I have a minor child with a chronic illness, they really pressure us to get the flu shot. We've not done that. That's been our decision. So I'm not here to recommend yes or no. Here to give you information for you to make your own best decision for yourself. I don't like every time I go to click chat, this comes up. Kill Sil. Actually, it is against your religion. And in some states, by the way, you can take religious exemption. So that's always, in Virginia is one of those states you can take a religious exemption. Now, Dr. Steve Cheney, some of the information I'm going to share with you is from Dr. Cheney, is a professor emeritus from the University of North Carolina. He's been an expert in human metabolism and nutrition and a cancer researcher to medical and dental students. So if you happen to go to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, you were in one of the rare medical schools that actually gives you some nutrition training. And he wrote an article entitled, "Should I Get a Flu Shot?" By the way, you might want to note that Dr. Cheney has a new book coming out in a few weeks called Slaying the Food Myths. So we're real excited about that. Okay, Dr. Cheney reports that flu vaccinations have no proven effectiveness. The CDC says this year's flu shot, 30% effective. And the difficulty is that the flu vaccine is weaker and the flu virus itself is stronger. And that's been another complicating factor in why this flu season has been so devastating. And by the way, it's officially an epidemic. All right. So it has no proven effectiveness for children ages 6 months to 2 years, or children aged 6 to 18 years, or seniors 65 or older, or children aged 2 to 7. Nasal sprays give 17% decrease in absolute risk of catching the flu. And it has to be phrased that way specifically. For adults 18 to 65, flu shots give a 3% absolute risk in catching the flu. So it's not a guarantee you won't catch it. It may, if you do get a flu shot and subsequently at some point get the flu, it should lessen severity. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence that I got the flu shot and that gave me the flu. CDC says no way that that can happen. So I'm just putting that out there. So why are flu vaccines heavily promoted and in some cases forced if the stats show marginal effectiveness? Well, the very young, the very old, and the very sick, those who cannot get the flu shot, are the most susceptible to severe complications, including death from the flu. But they can't get the flu shot. So If you're a healthy adult, it's really not about protecting you, because you only get maybe a 3% absolute decrease rather than absolute risk, than it is about protecting those whom you might infect if you caught. So it's really about what they call herd protection. So they're public health measures, pure and simple. So in this case, the flu shot is not about you. So who cannot get the flu mist nasal vaccine according to Dr. Pregnant women, children under 2, adults 50 or older, children under 5 who wheeze or whom have asthma, children or teens who take aspirin, interestingly, anyone with allergies to any of the parts of the vaccine. So you always want to get the ingredient list if you're considering a flu shot, or to the eggs, because sometimes they breed them in eggs. Anyone with allergies to the flu vaccine or any of its ingredients. And I'm going to go back just real quick there. Those are the people most vulnerable. Okay. Also, if you have chronic heart or lung disease, like asthma or restrictive airways disease, if you get the flu and you've got this, you can experience severe complications and secondary infections and possibly death, but you can't get the flu shot. If you have diabetes or kidney failure, if you have a weakened immune system, if you've had Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is a rare nervous system problem, and actually is a rare side effect of the flu shot within 6 weeks of getting a flu vaccine. Who cannot get the flu shot? Children younger than 6 months. People with severe life-threatening allergies to flu vaccine or any ingredient. So that includes the gelatin, the antibiotics. Kind of repeating it, but in a different way so that you catch it. People younger than 65 years of age should not get the high-dose flu shot. So I think what makes a lot of us feel funny about it is there's all this people that can't get it. It's offered in every drugstore. In fact, I just went, was in the grocery store, and the pharmacy would give you a coupon for a discount off your groceries if you got a flu shot. So the indication is that it's very safe. Everybody should get it, but everybody shouldn't get it. So the truth is, though, everyone is more susceptible to the flu if you have a weak immune system. So begs the question, what weakens it? There are 9 things that weaken your immune system. Poor diet. What do we do at Christmas time? What happens with people? They get the flu. Lack of sleep. Now, one of the things about this, when you don't get enough sleep, I looked it up and I wrote a note for you here. The lack of sleep lowers the T cells, and those are the white blood cells, which are key to your immune response. So there's actually something biochemically that happens when you don't get enough sleep, and enough sleep is 7 to 8 hours. Lack of exercise or overexertion. So I've got somebody here, I got a chat. I'm going to try to get these. Yes, and sugar affects our immune system, and we're going to cover that in a bit. Thanks, Carol. Being overweight. Being overweight is a risk factor for cancer as well. Being overweight lowers your immune system. Yeast in the intestines, we would call that candida overgrowth. So bad bacteria balance in your gut. Stress. Stress is an absolute immune system killer. Probably, I'm sure part of the contributing factors is when you're under a lot of stress, you tend not to sleep and you tend to have a poor diet. But stress is also being implicated in the increase in autoimmune disease. So stress is really important to manage your stress. Exposure to toxins. Toxins require the body to divert energy from protecting you into dealing with the toxins. Simplest way to say it. Aging, as we get older, unless you age in a healthy way, you're more likely to be immune. Sugar and alcohol. Sugar, actually, a lot of sugar in your diet can lower your immune response by about 30%, so it's quite significant. And so what are some of the secrets to a flu prevention strategy? This isn't sexy, okay? It's not like this is Carol's laughing. It's not like this super, drink this, super wild ingredient. We're going to get the, you know, the ingredients from Bora Bora, and that's what we all need to have to prevent the flu. But you want to eat a good diet with lots of fruits and veggies. All right. It doesn't have to be an extreme diet by any means. Less processed food, more home cooked food. Minimize sugar and refined carbs. And that would be added sugar, not worried about the sugar and fruit. Reduce stress. This is so key. And a lot of times people who are under stress feel like they can't reduce their stress. It's part of the anxiety that comes with stress. I have to work because if I don't, all these things won't happen. So I can't stop. I'll tell you what will stop you: getting ill. So especially if you have serve others, you're a mom, you're a dad, you're somebody in a profession, a serving profession, reduce your stress. You can serve others better when you take care of yourself. Get adequate sleep. Another not sexy thing. Okay, sometimes we want magic formulas, but it's sleep. Sleep, good sleep. And in fact, I don't know if you know this now, I'm a night owl, but you actually get better rest before midnight than after midnight. So try to go to bed before midnight. Appropriately exercise. Overexertion, and unless you're really being trained by a coach or something, wears down your immune system. Not enough does. So get some kind of exercise. Keep surfaces germ-free. We're going to talk about some really easy ways to do that. Take high-quality supplements to fill in the gaps. Wait a minute, supplements. Now, if you've determined that the flu vaccine is not for you, you're going to have to be extra proactive. Or if you'd like to strengthen your immune system, you're going to have to be, this is a responsibility, but I think it's one that's really worthwhile. And you're going to have to do it not only during the cold and flu season to get added extra protection, because you can't afford to be sick, but you're going to need to give your body nutrients that build immunity. And we can't eat perfectly every day of the week. Who ate perfect today? Who ate perfect? Who got their 8 or 9 servings of fruits and veggies? Who got their 8 hours of rest? Who did their 8 glasses of water? Who did their 30 minutes of exercise? Who didn't have stress? Right. So maybe you did it today, but not always. In fact, studies show that only about 2%, 3% of people eat perfectly every day. So the rest of us don't. And I'm going to just check here and see what we've got in the chat. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, I don't need, yeah. Bye, Amy. Thanks a lot. Amy's going to be doing her own webinar soon. So we need to supplement. It's highly beneficial. So great. Where can I get good supplements? I mean, if you've gone to the health food store, you see walls of supplements. And then you go online and somebody's always got the newest, greatest. This is fermented. This has got this molecule. And they've all got these things that supposedly make theirs work when others don't. And when we talk about whole food supplements here, we're using that as a descriptor. There is technically no whole food supplement. You can't take food, compress it down into a tablet. There's just no way to do that because of molecules. But you want supplements that are as close to nature and respect the balances that are found in whole foods. For example, an orange has like 19 nutrients. It's not just straight vitamin C. So if you had like a whole food type supplement, it would be a supplement that had the nutrients pretty close to the way it does in an orange. Does that make sense? Is that a little clear? So we get ours from a supplier called Shaklee. And if you haven't heard of them, we'd love to tell you why we love these products. First off, Shaklee has a 60-year history of creating products designed to be in harmony with nature, respecting the natural balance. The products are beyond organic. They look to confirm the purity and the potency of ingredients from creation to the delivery of the product. Not every company does that. This is huge. They screen for over 350 contaminants. That's 3 times the required amount. The USP only requires that you screen for, so 190 maybe? Based on science, not fans. That's so key. Clinical studies prove that they work. People who need safe, proven products reach for Shaklee and get results. I think it's only 120. And remember, I correct that. The USP only requires 120. So if you'd like to improve your immunity naturally, here's the regimen that I use and recommend. Wash your hands often. Now, I want to say something here about antibacterial, especially in schools. If you've got a child in school, they've given you the list, it's got antibacterial soap on it. You really don't need antibacterial soap. You might have those hand sanitizers, and those might be real handy for those rare occasions when you don't have access to water, like maybe you're camping or something. But microbacterial soap does the same thing like over antibiotic use. You actually have good guy microbes on your skin that help protect the immunity on your skin. When you use those antibacterial soaps, you're killing all the bacteria, good guys and bad guys, and now it's out of balance. Wash hands often. Regular soap and water is fine. Eat nutrient-rich foods, lots of vegetables. Excuse me here one moment, I just had to decline that. Lots of vegetables. You want to try to get, if you can get more than 5 or 8, maybe even as many as 9 servings a day, you are totally rocking the vegetable serving. And you want to eat more vegetables than fruits. Fruits are awesome, but you want to eat more vegetables than fruits and reduce your junk food. Those are things that probably go in crinkly bags. Get adequate exercise and sleep. Really make sleep a priority. Keep surfaces clean with germ-off disinfecting wipes and take preventative supplements. I do want to talk, I'm going to pause the share right now and talk a little bit about one of the things that I use. I use Basic G from Shaklee. It's related to the germ-off disinfecting wipes. It comes in a quart. It's highly concentrated. You use only 1/2 teaspoon in 16 ounces of water. So a teaspoon, if you've got a 32-ounce spray bottle. So you get hundreds of bottles of disinfectant. This is rated to kill influenza A, the adenovirus, MRSA, feline leukemia, E. coli, salmonella. I mean, get with us and we'll get you the list, because we have the list of it. And this is EPA registered, which means it is certified to kill what it says it kills, but it is not harmful to the environment, not harmful to people. I also use Basic G to disinfect my laundry. So if somebody's sick, all the laundry gets disinfected. So that's why I love Basic G and the concentrate. The germ-off wipes are great though, maybe to keep in your purse or your car, right? If you're just like, I just got to get something convenient. And then you want to take preventative supplements. So what kind of supplements build immunity? Well, Vitally or Vitalizer, vitamin C, Nutrifuron, Optiflora probiotic, vitamin D3, defend and resist echinacea. You know what? I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to address the chat, I think, afterwards, just for time's sake. Vitalize immunity. These are a lot of the most popular immune and health building supplements that we have. Let's talk a little bit about Vitally. I have a bottle here of Vitally Gold. Each serving delivers 100% or more of the daily value of all vitamins, including twice the daily value of vitamin C, D, and E. And here's the kicker about Vitally. I can show it up close to you, the bottle. I've got the Vitally Gold here. Is this. Shaklee did an immune study on just this multi. And it showed in elderly adults, remember what we talked about, the immune system and aging. In elderly adults, they had 9 sick days a year compared to the control group, and the control group not taking Vitally had 30 sick days in a year. So this multivitamin is very effective for helping build strong immunity. And in 1915, Dr. Shaklee created the first multivitamin in the US, and from its foundation, we now have Vitally. It's also a great prenatal and postnatal vitamin. Now the Vitalizer strip, I don't have that with me right here, but it's a convenient everyday go. Oh, wait, you know what? Excuse me. I did not pause. Okay, now you can see the Vitalizer Strip. It is a convenient, everyday, go anywhere VitaStrip. It provides 80 bio-optimized nutrients. It has something called smart technology, which means they get to where they're supposed to go. Now, I've got a picture here. I don't know, can you guys see it? This is what you'd have to eat every day in order to get what's in that Vitalizer Strip. So how many of you ate a dozen eggs today for the biotin? Oh, you didn't? Okay. How many of you drank 8 cups of milk for your vitamin D? Oh. How many of you ate 8 cups of cooked peas today? No? Okay, let me try this. Surely you had 32 spears of asparagus. No. Okay, let me try again. How many of you ate 65 ounces of tuna? I mean, it's impossible. You can't eat all that. You'd be like, all you'd be doing all day, you start your day in the morning, 19 cups of yogurt. I mean, you can't get that kind of nutrients in food, as much as we'd like to say so. So the Vitalizer Strip is phenomenal for that. Sustained release vitamin C delivers the vitamin C equivalent of 1.5 oranges every hour for 5 hours. And that was proven in a clinical study. We can get you the reference to that study. It's absolutely amazing. The Nutrifuron was developed by Nobel laureate Dr. Yoshimo Kojima, who discovered interferon. And it stimulates the body's own production of interferon and helps regulate the immune system naturally. This product was 40 years of research with Dr. Kojima. And it is exclusive. Actually, she actually has the world patent on it. The OptiFlora already comes in the Vitalizer Strip. It's very tiny and it's triple encapsulated. It ensures the microflora are protected until they're released in the intestines. That's very significant. Most probiotics never make it past your stomach. So that's what we call it, guaranteed live delivery. And it's so tiny, you can give it to a newborn baby. I've done it. Vitamin D3. I heard somebody today talk about needing, I'm in a health forum, and I see more health myths and bad information in 5 minutes in that forum. It's amazing. I actually had to leave because I was going to spend all day trying to correct information. But vitamin D does support our immunity, and most of us are deficient. The more that researchers have understood that vitamin D does, the higher they've raised what they call the normal level. Okay. And there's a link between low vitamin D levels and the risk of developing the flu. And especially in the winter, supplementation is vital. Vitalized Immunity has 19 vitamins and minerals in a special herbal blend. It also includes echinacea, and it's naturally sweetened with monk fruit. And 1 serving, I think I've got a serving here. It comes in this tube. Well, this one's not open yet, so I'm not going to show you. But you get this wonderful circle, and it's like a fizzy drink, and you can put it in hot or cold. Defend and Resist. This is Carol's favorite product. You have to. This is something you keep on hand, and I keep 2 or 3 bottles on hand for my family. All right, because this is what you take when you get that sudden onset, or you feel like you're coming down with something. That's exactly the time to start Defend and Resist. Studies have shown that it helps stimulate the body's natural resistance. It has echinacea, larch tree, and elderberry extracts in the exact proportions. It can be chewed or swallowed. You can make it into a tea. It's really purpley. And one of the things the larch tree does is it breaks off the barbs on a virus. Viruses have barbs, and that's how they hook into your cells in order to take over your cells so they can replicate. And the larch tree breaks off those barbs. It's fascinating. The germ-off wipes, we already talked about the basic G, but they're really convenient. And even in your own home, you want to wipe off doorknobs, light switches, tables, toys, where you can spray it with the basic G, and especially toys, and then just rinse them off. So there are 3 packages to choose from, so you can easily get started today. Adults and kids, 12 and over. You can, and this is a great family packet. I mean, if everybody could get the vitalizing, that would be fantastic. But if you can't, at least start with the Vitally family size, the sustained release C, and you can also get those, and then the OptiFlora probiotic and the vitamin D. All right, that's a really good family pack. This person's a teacher. She says, I'm a teacher, and so I'm in constant contact with various germs. Now that I take Shaklee, I ward off everything, and I didn't get sick at all last year. That was a huge improvement. If I feel something coming on, I flood my system with the nutrients for a couple of days, and then I'm good. Now, what about under 12? Well, we have chewable forms. We have the Incredivites, the Ocean Wonders, your choice. The Ocean Wonders is kosher. Chewable C, Optiflora Probiotic, and Mighty Smarts, which is an omega product. And this is the chewable C. And when my grandkids come over, they go, Grandma, can we have our vitamin C candy? And I say, sure, every time. It's always a yes. So my oldest would always catch the flu and missed a lot of school in kindergarten, but then I got him taking Ocean Wonders and vitamin C regularly, and there was a big difference in grade 1. Vitalizer Strip plus Nutriferon. This one's particularly powerful. The only time I caught the flu was in the last 6 years when I ran out of Nutriferon for 2 weeks. I ran into my pediatrician's office during that time, and when everybody else had it, we came out with it. Never again. Also, my new husband, who never gets sick, caught some awful nasty virus thing this winter, and everybody had it. And some caught it twice. He was one of them. He was sick for 8 weeks, 2 doctor's appointments, 6 prescriptions, and he felt like he was gonna die. And one day he almost passed out in the yard. I shared the same bed with him every night, waited on him, kissed him, etc., and I never got it. That's powerful. Defend and Resist, Vitalized Immunity, and Germ Off Wipes. We consider these like our first aid. So always keep these on hand. And again, you take them, and the Vitalizing Immunity is great. It's just like a comfort drink. So I've never had the flu. I have taken Shaklee products for 40 years and never had a flu shot. And my children had only had it once when we lived in California, and it was required. I'm pretty sure that I've never had the flu either. If I feel anything coming on, I load up on Nutriferon and on Defend and Resist. So no matter where your health is today, your body has an amazing ability to build, restore, and repair health when given the right building blocks. Your body wants to be healthy. So why not get started today and build a better life for you and your family? Now, what we are doing is, if you order within the next couple of days, because we want to get with you and educate you, find out what's going to work for you and your family, but we're going to give you a free bottle of Defend and Resist, okay, with the purchase of one of the product systems we talked about on this call tonight. And if you'd like to create a wellness plan, we're happy to help your loved ones from getting sick. We would love to help you. This is what we really love to do. And we know it can be confusing out there, and there's different budgets, and families have different situations. So that's what we do, is we get with you, we talk about what's going on in your family, what your budget is, and what's going to be the most effective way within those parameters. And leave a comment in the chat box, or really message us on Facebook or send us an email. You can also call us. You can text us. Smoke signals, we're pretty good at those too. We all have, Kathy Sikich, Carol Steele, and myself have a wellness center. And we'd love to invite you to create a free account in our wellness center. You'll get VIP address to our entire library of Shaklee-focused wellness content. You're going to get insider scoops on which supplements can help you with common ailments. We can be very specific because of the membership that we can't be sometimes in another way. We will give you updates on Shaklee's newest products, current specials, and promos. You'll also get access to our Vitality for Life newsletter archives and more. We also have VIP wellness groups on Facebook. So just message us. We're happy to add you to them. Sometimes we run contests in them. There's a lot more back and forth. So think of the Wellness Project as a library, and our wellness groups, our healthy living groups, as a place to have conversation. We don't, no myths, okay? You're not going to hear weird, wacky stuff in there. We also are going to not only keep you current on Shaklee specials, but also like this wellness chart. That's the kind of stuff we put in there for you. So we'd love it. We'd love your feedback. Post what you'd like best. Share with others what you like best, what you learned about, either in our Facebook group, on your feed, and tag us. It really helps spread the word. You can also check out our hub sites. We'll each send you, and our hub sites will link you to our to a health print, to our ordering sites, to our wellness projects, and more. And you'll also learn how to contact us and where to follow us on social media. And you can also check out our upcoming events. In fact, we have 2 upcoming events. We have 3 actually. We have a beauty bar pop-up coming up soon. We have a cleanse week coming up in March, and then how to build an online business coming up at the end of the month. So thank you so much for joining our wellness webinar, and I look forward to seeing you on my next event. And I'm going to get in there and look at these chats and see what we can use. Oh yes, the wipe off, the Basic G, the germ off wipes in the gym, absolutely. And if you're good friends with the fitness, with the gym owner, get them the Basic G's, and sometimes they have those spray bottles. Put the Basic G in there. It works phenomenally. Thank you for that. Yeah, chew it or suck it, and it's excellent. Oh, on a toothache. All right, fantastic. Yeah, right. Kim says she's not big eggs. Right. If you don't like some of these foods, it's kind of hard to get some of the nutrients, and so supplementation becomes even more important. Hey, Kim, it's good to see you. Okay, are there any other questions before we go? I am going to be posting this, so get the recording. Again, feel free to contact us, and we are happy to help you. That's our delight. Remember, we order a package that we talked about tonight. We want you to be healthy, so we're going to give you a free bottle. Oops, there it is, of Defend and Resist. So thank you so much, Carol. Thanks for helping out with the chat. Appreciate it. Have a good night, everybody. Stay healthy. God bless.